Hi guys, it's I Just Sparks Made here again. Welcome to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to be showing us how to achieve this dress with a little structure and a line with a structure. Though you can make yours more and you can make yours just like as little as mine is. And without further ado, let's just get right into the class. So first off, I already have a drafted basic body pattern, though it's a full pattern. It's a full dress pattern, and I used the subtraction method for this. And yeah, you can use any pattern you're familiar with, okay? This is the fabric I'll be working with, a damask and then a doll face lining. Yeah, so I'll just get straight to altering this pattern to suit the design of the outfit I'm working with. I don't know if you're like me that keeps patterns, though sometimes it doesn't favor me because it's either I've added or I've lost some weight. So yeah, but so it's essential to like take your measurements again before embarking on that project. Okay, so after separating the front from the back bodies, I'll just go ahead and just add an extension to the back because I need to increase my original hip. Yes, to do the whole structured dress, you need to increase your hip. Now I used something very little because I did not want it to be really pronounced. Then while on the hem length, I came out by 3 inches and connected back to the hip. Now this hip point, I came out by 2 inches. Yes, like I was saying, I do not want it to be very pronounced, but I advise that if you really need that, that beautiful effect like the Vicky James's blouse that she did one time ago, please don't hesitate to come out as much as 3, 4, 5. Yes, it will still work. Now because I'm doing a leg of mutton sleeves, I'll be going in on my armhole point by 1/2 inch, just because I do not want my puff to fall off. I want it to be actually sit directly on my shoulders. I don't know about you, but this works for me well. And then I would be coming out by 2 inches from my shoulder and then just taking a little slope on the chest part and connecting back. Now your neck depth or your neck width is totally up to you. Whatever design you want to work with is totally up to you, but this is what I settled for here. So I'll just go ahead and label the back and then go ahead to do the front. Now for the front, I'll just go ahead and measure what I have on my underbust space and just check out for the number of inches I'll be tightening on my underbust space. And when I was done, I went ahead to do the same thing I did on the back. I extended my hip by 2 inches and came out by 3 inches on the hem part. Now remember that I said that yours can be more. I mean, if you really need that structured hip effect, you can go ahead and do as much as 3.5, 4, and the rest. Actually, I just wanted to do an A-line that had this structure that from afar you can see, the hip curve and all. Okay, so for the shoulder tightening, I'll just go in by my midpoint. So I'll get my shoulder divided by 2 just to do my overbust tightening. And don't forget that I'll still do the exact same thing I did on the back. I'm coming in by 1/2 inch on my armhole points because I do not want my sleeves to fall off my shoulder since I'm doing a puffed or a leg of mutton sleeves. Now when I'm done with this, I'll go back and take my bust pan and transfer it up so that I can have a gauge for my overbust where it is starting from. Now you can do more, you can do less, depends on how much cleavage you want to show. Then I went ahead to do 1.5 inch on both sides to do my overbust tightening. So between 1 inch to 1.5 inch is very okay. Also, the next thing I'll do is just check how deep I want my cleavage point to be because I am doing a sweetheart neckline. So I just went ahead to work like with 1.5 inch below my chest point. Though at the end of the day, I realized that it was a bit deep. so you can make yours more decent. Okay, then I'll just go ahead and just shape it in with my curved ruler to get to my armhole curve at the side, and that's what I did there. Then when I was done, the excess I had on my underbust, I transferred it to do my underbust tightening because I'm trying to do a bustier dress. Yes, this is a bustier dress, but it wasn't so pronounced. Like, it's not so pronounced, but it is a bustier dress. So I didn't do so much tightening on my under bust, but I did a good tightening on my over bust. So on that shoulder line, I'll go ahead and just open the line so I can close my bust dart and then give a nice curve on that bust area because I do not want to have a pointy bust curve. Now take note that you should always do that so that you don't get a pointy bust. Okay, now when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and measure to be sure that my under bust is not over tightened and it is not under tightened because I want it to have the bustier effect, okay, without necessarily, being overly tight on the other bust. So I'll go ahead and also open the bust that area because I want to gauge my neck. I want to be sure that my neck balances with the other side. It's called truing or blending. So when I was sure I corrected it, I went ahead to blend out on the new line. Yes, because I do not want to sew and then the sides are not touching or are not meeting each other. So it is essential that you close up your neck area, just to get a nice curve. And then when I'm done, I'll just go ahead and just link up it's more like a Queen Anne, but not really a Queen Anne, because usually a Queen Anne neckline is firmer and starts very close to the neck. So yeah, I'll just say it is a strap, like a bustier with a strap connection to form a sleeves here, because I don't think I will call this a Queen Anne neckline here. So when I was done getting my neck back, I went back to close back the bust dart and then just extended my dart all the way to the hem point. Now the reason I'm extending it all the way to the hem point is because I'll be cutting out my front pattern. Yes, I'll be separating it all the way out, because if I don't do it this way, I would not be able to sew in with ease to get this dress. So I had to cut everything out. But for my back pattern, I would not be cutting it into pieces as this. So after doing that, I just went back to place the the front part of this yoke area to be sure that I have gotten the exact strap points that I would be working with. And it is advisable to use your back to gauge, because you're joining your back to your front, so the number of inches you have for your shoulder or for your yoke should be the same thing in the front and in the back. Now when I'm done cutting, I'll just go ahead and just label the parts I need to label. Remember that I said the front is going to be a strap, so I cut out that front strap, and then I'll just go ahead and cut the back pattern as well. Now while cutting the back pattern, I will make sure that I cut out everything, nudge everywhere I need to nudge, just so that label all the parts I need to label, so I don't misplace any area or any parts of it. Okay, so now this is what I have for my center back pattern, and this is what I have for my front. The next thing I'll do is just quickly transfer everything to my main fabric. Now this main fabric was interfaced with cotton hairstay on both the fabric and the doll face. I used the doll face as my lining. Now if you notice that on the bust area, I still interfaced again with my wadding. Yes, I still did the interfacing with my wadding, so don't forget to do that as well. Then I'll just go ahead and prepare my clothes, fix all the darts and everything generally that I need to fix up. I'm not going to take this part so slowly, because I know that all of us here can actually sew. So I'll just go ahead and sew up everything. This is me just joining the front of my lining, joining the front pattern of my lining, and I'll do the same to every part of this job. And now when I'm done with this, I would go ahead and join on the main fabric as well. I'm sure that you've gotten or you've learned a thing or two so far. If you've enjoyed this video and you'll be trying this out, do let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed to this channel. And also, don't forget to share this video with someone that would likely need to, learn how to make this structured dress. So now when I was done joining everything, this is what the end result looks like. Yeah. So now, after fixing all my darts and closing up the bust area, I will go ahead and just join the sides. Remember that I'll prepare my straps separately because that will be amongst the final things I'll be adding, and the strap is only on the front. That is why it looks like it is a tube on this part of the video. Yeah, so when I'm done joining everything, this is what I have here. I'll go ahead and just notch the sides, like the waist of the lining. Now, it is important that you do that. Also, for this dress, I worked with a total of half-inch allowance. That is why you see me just following the half-inch allowance. Now, I'm not saying you cannot do more. You can do more. You can do 0.75. You can do 1 inch. But then ensure that you do what you can easily notch. Like, if you're doing this dress, I'll advise you do half-inch allowance so that you can easily notch. Now, this notch is going to help give your A-line a good structure. Like, it will help it flow out well. Also, for those that don't like too much, serere, and you don't want to do so much, you can just stick to just putting your boning only on the sides. Yes, only on the sides. So far, you've done that, pronounced hip. Like, you've extended your hip by like 4 inches out and then curved it all the way out. If you fix only your Regilin bone at the sides, you would still get the structure. Now, I wanted everywhere to be really firm, and for those that are hoping to do other fuller structured dresses, they were like the one on my thumbnail, one of the dresses on my thumbnail. Yes, so you can follow this procedure all the way to get that result that you are looking for. Okay, but if you just want something simple, you can just stick to doing it only at the sides. Yes, you can stick to doing it only at the sides. Now, I went ahead to just fix all of these boning channels horizontally and vertically. So when I was done fixing it vertically, I went ahead to fix it horizontally, making sure that I'm passing through the hip part. It will help push out the hip. I'm passing through the hip part and every other corner that needs to give it that structured effect. So please don't forget that you would have to make sure that your hip is actually extended. That is the number one secret on getting this. There's no magic to it. You have to make sure that your hip is, like, first of all, extended before you even go ahead to bone every other part or cage every other part. Now, at this point, I was done caging and I just went ahead to finish up my work, and I had to pin up the straps for the dress. I went ahead to pin up the straps for this dress, and then went ahead to use my lining to turn everything inside out. Yes, I am a fan of inseam sewing. If you've been watching my video, you know that I'm a fan of inseam sewing. This was actually a dress I made for myself for a friend's wedding, and I still had to go through the whole stress of making sure I do the dress as neat as possible. And trust me, I'm not even sure I might wear that dress again, but I mean, it is worth it. What is worth doing is worth doing. Yes, so as a designer, I would advise that you make sure that your job is always neat as possible. That will be what will keep your clients coming back. Now, after everything, this is what my structure effect looks like. You can see that the dress is actually standing on its own here. That's the power of the Regilin bone. And I would also advise that if you want it to be fleshed, you can use your cotton hairstay too and flesh on top of it. Like after fixing the boning, you can use your cotton hairstay to flesh on it. Yeah, this is the finished look. I just had to like set my tripod stand, my ring lights, and just do a short video of myself dancing. This was the day I worked the dress. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to share. Do not forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this tutorial. Thank you and see you on my next video. Bye.